This is the Reinforce Your Gym podcast with your host, Dustin Vogel. This show is about arming gym owners with the tools, strategies, and lessons they need to take their business to the next level. That way, they can make a greater impact in their community. Now, let's get to work and reinforce your gym.
Gym owners, I'm sure it drives you crazy when you're paying good money for your marketing only to have leads that ghost you, that don't reply to you, and go cold on you. Well, that ends today. We are going to solve this problem once and for all, and I'm going to show you the 5 reasons your leads are going cold and how to fix it so that way you don't have to deal with this headache anymore. All right? And if you don't know me, my name is Dustin Vogel. I scaled from 1 to 6 gyms over 6 years, and today I help gym owners with my free content to scale their gym and also my done-for-you services with my company, Gym Reinforcements. With that, let's get into today's topic, all right? First things first, I want you to adopt this mindset. It's not your lead's fault, it's your fault, okay? And what does that mean? It means that a lot of people opt into things because they weren't clear on what they were opting into. So you got to take that as feedback to get your marketing more clear, more simple, all right? Whether it's your landing pages, your ads, your images, make it so easy, 4th grade level for me to see it and understand what you do and who you serve and if I'm the right person for you, right? The reason this is a good mindset to have is that when we blame other outside factors, it's my market, it's the economy, it's legislation, whatever, like all these reasons that my business is not doing well. It's my team, it's my location, it's price sensitivity. All these things then remove the power from you. And you don't ever want to be in that place as a business owner. You always want to be sitting in the position of, I have the power to change things. I have the power to fix things. That's the place that I want you to sit. So when you adopt this mindset of like, you know what, if my leads have been non-responsive to me and they've been going cold on me, it's my fault. I need to get my marketing dialed in more, my positioning, and I need to make sure that I have a great sequence of follow-up to make sure that I'm doing the best job I can. And so that's what we're going to tackle. All right. So first reason that leads don't reply to you is because you know what? They were the wrong fit. It wasn't a good lead. And how do we, use these words kind of open-ended, like good, bad lead? Well, I would say it comes down to you and your offer not highlighting a pain point or promising an outcome. Okay. That's the number one problem I see on marketing right now for gym owners is that they're not talking about an outcome. They're talking about time for dollars, right? So like, what does this look like? A free week pass. Okay. Let me tell you how many people want a free week pass to your gym. 0, because in a week, nothing is going to really happen. And at the end of the day, they were not told about an outcome that will come from these workouts. They're just told, come spend time over here. Won't you give us some time? No one has any time. They don't want to give you more time. If they could just avoid going to the gym and being fit, they would take it. And that's why so many people are jumping on the Ozempic train. But for those that want to get in because they know the benefits of muscle and coaching and fitness and that there's a lot of things that can't provide for them, they need to be told what you're a specialist in. What is the pain that you help people solve? And I know we want to be positive and solution minded and talk about good things, but more people are running from a pain than running toward a pleasure, right? So what does the bride say about looking good on her wedding day? She just says, I just don't want to look bloated, right? She tends to use this language around what people don't want, right? I said at 40, I wouldn't be over 200 pounds. And so there's a lot of, if you listen to people's languages, they're usually running from something, right? And there's usually pain in their words. If you can capture that and write it down, I'd be listening all the time in my gym of like, oh man, that phrase that client just said, that's my email next week. That's my next ad. That was a banger. I would write these phrases down and my marketing worked really good because I was constantly recycling the words in the gym, putting them out to my marketing, and it brought in more ideal clients. You often, as the gym owner or coach, are not your ideal client. So saying the words you like to say, right? You don't want to be talking about your in-body. Nobody cares about your in-body, or periodization or macros. Like these are things that people in the fitness world care about, but people outside the fitness world look at us with strange eyes and say, you guys are weirdos. So you're actually repelling them by putting too much science-based fat loss kind of verbiage on your ads. That people don't know what that means, right? You kind of have to be in the know and in the loop and in the bubble to know these words. So How can we fix this? Well, first off, stop selling features. No one cares about the in-body, the equipment you have, your square footage, how many sessions you run. None of those add value to my life. You're actually talking about you. And that's the number one way to ruin a sale right out of the gate is talk about you. Okay. You want to mirror their language, exact phrases. You hear something that they say, you go and put that on your ads. You send that as emails. You find ways to turn those into stories that can carry on in your marketing, right? You can always change the name of the client if you don't want to say their exact name. Okay. Name their fear. This is where pain point messaging comes in. Name what they're afraid of happening. Like I said, more people are drawn to running from pain than running towards pleasure. So instead of saying, you know, free week pass, you'd say tired of starting over every January, tired of starting over every Monday, tired of saying this time will be different and then it isn't. You find all the excuses. Tired of hiding behind the camera instead of being in front of the camera, right? A lot of people will say these types of phrases and language, and you want to say those things in your marketing as much as it might be painful for you to put these things on there. You're like, I don't want to offend people. I don't want them to take it the wrong way. This is what stops the scroll, right? And at the end of the day, you got to really zone in on one person that you want as your ideal client, right? We tend to see also in marketing, we try to talk to everybody. We say, attention, people of Dallas, like we want to help you get fit. Well, no one is going to stop and say, oh, wow, you are speaking to me. You have to talk to one person. So one of our clients is a small group training facility. It works with 40-plus-year-old adults. And on their marketing, we put people that look 40 plus. We say, attention, 40-plus-year-old adults. We specialize in 40-plus adult personal training. And so we know this is the age where your metabolism starts slowing down. We know you start having more aches and pains. You got more things pulling at you. You know, they call that the two-way kind of tug of war in your 40s that leads to a lot of midlife crisis. You're responsible for raising your kids and paying for all their needs, but then also your parents are aging and you might need to start covering their costs too. So you feel this immense amount of pressure. Well, don't worry. We've built our program with all that in mind. We know how much pressure you're under. We know what your days look like. Get in, get out 3 times a week. You'll see massive change. When I put that on that ad for that owner, lights out. It crushes. I'm telling stories. I'm adding more detail. It's very enriching for the person to read versus flash sale, you know, get a free week pass, offer end soon, 2 spots. Like, guys, people are burnt out on that. It don't work, okay? So let's continue on. What's number 2? Well, speed to lead, okay? Now let's say you got the right person who opted in, that is the right customer for you, but now you took too long to get to them. We found that 80% of the reason people buy from a business is because they were the first one to get back to them. That's it. It wasn't location. It wasn't amenities. It wasn't how long you've been in business. It wasn't how many certifications your trainer has. It's who got back to me the quickest, right? So if you don't have software and tools and AI and, you know, just things in place to help you get to people quicker, you are flushing your marketing dollars down the toilet. And I don't want that happening to you. So again, obviously we have a call center. We help people solve this problem. We have a 5-minute speed to lead guarantee. But at the end of the day, you can do it yourself. You just got to use a tool that gives you a notification every time a lead comes in within 5 minutes. We're big fans of Go High Level. There's a lot of different options out there, but somebody in the gym, you, a manager, someone needs to get a notification and then they need to be reaching out to them. This can become a major pain point for a lot of gym owners because people are not on standby waiting for a lead. They're coaching a session, they're talking to clients, they're cleaning up the gym, they're programming workouts, like they're doing all these things. And so by the time they get to them, it's been 4 hours. Some gym owners I've seen take 4 days to get back to their leads and then wonder why people are not buying. Well, you just took too long. You missed the window of buying excitement, that fever pitch that people have. And now you're not going to get the sale, right? Think about it this way. I'm sure you've gone to Amazon, you added something to cart, you were like in this buying frenzy, and then you got distracted. Your spouse calls you into the other room. You had to pick up a phone call. You got to go drive and run an errand. You came back, there's that item in the cart, and you said to yourself, you know what? I actually don't need that on second thought. I'll save the money. And you just dropped it out. That's what's happening with your leads. All right. They're opting in. They're saying, that's it. I'm going to do something about my fitness. But every minute that ticks by, they are cooling down, and that is costing you money. So you got to solve this. And again, I would love to help if you want to reach out. If not, then put some time and energy, meet with your team and say, how do we solve this forever? Having speed to lead in 5 minutes. Okay. Gym owners, I don't want you to have the reputation in town as the gym that doesn't call people back. All right. We know it's critical when someone's finally made a decision to get healthy and fit that we get to them as quickly as possible. This can be solved by plugging in our remote sales reps. Okay. It's not AI. It's not a bot. It's a real human that's working on your leads, the new ones that come in from your ads and the old leads in your database. And they're there to qualify the leads, to ask them discovery questions and to make sure they're a good fit. And then their job is to move them forward in your sales process so that you get more members month over month. All right. If you want to learn about our remote sales reps, go ahead and go to gymreinforcements.com, book a call, and we'll tell you more about it. See you then. Moving on to number 3. You're only on one channel. Okay. I see this happen a lot, that everybody sticks to their favorite form of communication, but they're not molding to the receiver's form of communication. So I'm a fan of text. I know that they have the highest open rate, but right behind that, I would say email. And then third, I would actually put phone. All right. A lot of people are surprised to hear that, especially because I run a call center for gyms. But guys, people are antisocial. If they can solve things through a written communication, they will tend to want to start there. They will eventually want to move to a call. But I've seen it go 3 ways. Some people are like the self-checkout mode. Like they want the self-checkout line at the store. They don't want anyone to bag their stuff up. I can handle my own stuff. They just like, give me the link and get out of my way. It's going to be a small percent, but they are a part of people that exist. The second group are going to be, I just want to text with you. I'm at work. I'm busy. I can't get on the phone. Let's just chat, right? So whether you're DMing with them, you're texting, you're emailing, they're sending back and forth communication. Maybe you try to call them even. They're like, hey, I can't get on the phone. I'm at work, right? And so they're shooting you down. They're saying, let's just text. The third group are like, I want to talk to someone. I want some voice communication. I want to ask questions. I can probably talk on the phone faster than I can go back and forth on text. So different strokes for different folks. And so don't stick to what you like. Stick to rotating these 3 because that will get you the best return on your marketing. Now, here's the truth. People will not respond usually until you reach out to them 7 to 12 times. Or I should say, they don't buy something. They will respond on message 1, 2, and 3, but sometimes that conversation carries over to the next day. Sometimes it drags on for many days. You have to then be responsive to them because it's going to take 7 to 12 reach outs to get some of your leads to buy something. And most gyms stop at 2, right? I called them day 1, they didn't pick up. I called them back the next day. That's it. I'm moving on to my new leads. And so they kind of got lazy. It's one of the downside of getting too many leads is now your team can get high and mighty and kind of dispel leads, where I look at every lead as gold, man. I'm like, this is a person, a soul in my area, my community that asked for help, and I'm letting them down if I don't reach out to them at least 12 times. Okay. Now, that's a good thing for you to sit down with your team and say, what is the measurement of success and what is the quota, right? So quota is like minimum. You have to do this minimum, otherwise you lose the job. So if you give your coaches extra hours or you have a sales rep doing it, like if you don't reach out to them a minimum of 10 times and I find out that, again, you're failing to do that, you lost the job. Like that's the quota. I need a minimum amount. Now, a success or a aspiring goal is then the stretch goal of what you want that's above that, right? So if you say minimum's 10, but I'd like 12 or 15, right? And that would be my stretch goal for you to reach out to every lead. And then we can put them into a long-term drip that maybe they get something once or twice a month. But that is up to you as the business owner to lead and mark that. A lot of people just say, did you reach out? Have you tried reaching out, right? We use these vague terms. Well, what does that mean? How many? What is the measurement? What's the KPI? Hopefully this rattles your cage a little like, oh man, I've been vague. I haven't gave my team those numbers. Well, that changes today. Another channel you can explore if you're like a heavy social media user and you guys are getting a lot of leads from social media, you can also DM your leads, right? DM them on Facebook, DM them on Instagram. If someone follows you, hey, why, thanks for the follow. What made you decide to follow us? Are you local? Like you can also use that as an extra bonus channel. Okay. But you want to mix it up. All right. And so that is number 3. Moving on. Number 4, it's reaching out at the wrong time of the day. Okay. And so again, I know this sounds like all these things got to align. I got to have the perfect offer and I got to have speed to lead. and I got to rotate my channels and I got to reach out to them at the right time of the day. Yes, it is complicated, but at the end of the day, you will start to see patterns and then this thing will get easier. Okay. One pattern I've picked up on is that the best windows are earlier in the morning and then late at night. Sometimes you get some pickups at lunchtime, not a whole lot though. And again, it differs market to market. So basically, ask yourself what is going on in this person's life, not what's going on in my life. You're like, hey, I'm free right now at 9 a.m. to make calls. Well, that's a horrible time. Everyone's trying to get to work. They're putting their heads down. They're working. They're not ready to chat with some local business about their offer and their services, right? So I tend to see the healthiest amount of pickups is in the evening. And when I say healthy, I mean not only do they pick up, they can converse, they can talk. Because what if you're getting a bunch of pickups at 11, but it's all to shoot you down and say, I'm busy, I can't talk? Well, you can say, I'm having pickups, but I care about quality pickups, okay? In my mind, the worst time is that middle of the day dead time, right? The 10 to 2, and a lot of coaches turn into appointment setters or sales reps are asked to coach in the morning and then do sales in the middle of the afternoon. That is dead time. They will not produce anything. And guess what? Momentum creates momentum. So when they do this day after day and they don't make any sales, they don't get any pickups, it starts to mentally wear on them. Sales is already tough and you have to have high resilience. Now have no pickups and no sales for many days in a row. Man, they're going to hate it and they're going to just say to themselves, I wish I could just go back to coaching, right? And that's the issue that I encountered and why I decided to hire remote sales reps to own it. Now, it's funny. There's also days that I see patterns in. Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays tend to have really high amount of sales. I think Thursday and Friday, people tend to start thinking about the weekend, maybe knocking out more personal errands. Monday to Wednesday, they're just very work, work, work driven. It's starting to tax them. They're starting to feel worn out. They're starting to think about the weekend. So there's that. Also, Friday, people get paid, right? And so like now they're feeling high and mighty and ready to spend, right? But it's weird. I always found Sundays to be a great day. And after I talked to a Google marketer who worked with a lot of gyms, they said the most search traffic for gyms comes in on a Sunday across all their accounts. And I bet you know why, if you're a trainer and you've been in the industry for a while, that's the day that everyone says, that's it. This week is going to be different. I'm going to find a gym near me and I'm going to join. And Monday, it's a fresh start. And Mondays tends to be this reset day for everyone to start fresh in the gym. That's why Mondays tend to have the highest attendance. And then by Friday, it's a lot less. So essentially, that is something to think about. Could you, gym owner, if you're in grind mode, maybe put in some Sunday outreach, right? Put in some automations to reach out to people. Send out an email blast, send out a text blast. Maybe if you don't want to be on the phone with people all day, send them a link that they can self check out on a Sunday. But it tends to be a great day for sales, and I've only picked up these patterns after doing fitness sales for so long. All right, so that is number four, is that your leads are going cold because you might be reaching out to them at the wrong time of the day or the wrong day. Now, number five, this is you not having any content. Okay. I'm baffled. So many gym owners I'm friends with on social media. And if I were not knowing what they did, I had no clue what they do for a living or that they were a business owner. They never post about the thing they own, their gym, their passion, supposedly their life's work. They'll go weeks, months, even years without mentioning their gym on a post. There'll be a lot of silly videos. There'll be some political stuff. There'll be their friends and family, but they won't post about their business, which blows my mind. So, guys, if you have a social media profile, which I'm sure you do, and you have a lot of local friends on there, what free, easy way to access them and to influence them than to post content daily on your profile, not just the gym profile and page, your profile. I have no idea why that is happening, but I see it so much. But moving on to the page, then a lot of gym owners are not active on their social media. They'll not post for days or weeks or even months. Well, if someone sees your ad and they click on it and then they see the last post you put up was 3 months ago, that's going to spook them. They're going to think, is this place still in business? Everybody's posting content. If they're not, then again, maybe they went out of business. So you start creating like negative thoughts in your leads, and that causes your marketing to have more friction. It costs more cost per lead and more trust to be built. So things that you can do, obviously you can show your client testimonials, interview them. It's so popular these days that gyms are creating like an in-house podcast and they're interviewing their clients. They're putting that up as a long form, and then they're chopping out the best little clips and they're making those into stories and reels. Boom, there you go. You can also do this with your trainers. You can say once a week on Fridays, we're going to sit down and we're going to just shoot the breeze about what's popular in fitness right now or questions we're getting in the gym. We're going to move the long form to YouTube and then we're going to chop out all the 1 minute clips and put that out on reels and stories. So, guys, follow your favorite way to deliver information. If you're not a writer, don't force yourself to write, film a video, right? If you like to write, then do that. But with AI and all the tools that you have, you should have no shortage of coming up with a content calendar, right? A lot of people, they're going to stalk your social media before they finally buy from you. That's like the new way to date a business and to study someone and stalk them before they buy. So this is a good thing if you're getting constantly more followers, but what are they seeing, right? What's your frequency? So start with 3 posts a week. And once you get that cadence down, then you want to go to daily 5 times a week. Eventually, you can even schedule things to go out on the weekends and start increasing to twice a day posts. Okay. But the best gyms that I see turn their social media into a marketing machine that's generating leads, they are posting 2 to 3 times a day, sometimes more, which might sound nuts, but there is an insatiable appetite for content. I will tell you this, you're never making enough content. People will consume endless amounts of it. So operate from that mindset. Your market will never go like full. They'll never be full and say, that's enough. No more content, please. They will be hungry constantly if it's good content. All right. So those are your 5 guys. Hopefully this helps you again to improve your lead quality. And most importantly, we're here to get sales and get members and make an impact in them. But those are your 5. Okay. So again, just to recap from the top, you got your messaging, speaking to a pain point and talking about an outcome that you get people. There is speed to lead, obvious, low hanging fruit. Multiplying your channels, not just sticking to one. Changing the time of the day that you send out your messages, and then making sure that you have a steady flow of content. All right. When those 5 things are happening, lights out. Those are the best gyms that we see in our agency and also other gym owners that I'm friends with. Okay. They're doing those things and that is causing their lead quality to go up, their lead response rate to go up. If you need help with this, go ahead and visit gymreinforcements.com. Learn about the services we offer. We'd love to help you. These are the things that we do all day. That's where we get all this data from. Until next time, guys, see you on the next video. Hey, gym owners, let's face it, you probably don't love digital marketing. You probably don't want to go into Facebook and load the ad up and think of ad copy and creatives and optimize it daily. Well, hand that over to me and my team because we're geeks about marketing and we want to flood your gym with new members so you can change their life. Let us do what we do best. All right, go to gymreinforcements.com, book a call. Don't bring the credit card. It's not a hard pitch. It's just a conversation to see if we're a good fit. Talk soon.